Greetings and salutations, comic book conversationalists. This is Comic Book Hangover once again with a late video because, life happens and there's been a lot of life going on in the Comic Book Hangover home the last couple of weeks. I mean, my wife is still pregnant. We're still kind of going in and out of the hospital. A few minor complications, but now it's just a matter of she's at 35 weeks right now, real close to the end. Little Parker's actually not due until the 29th of May. So we're trying to get him to stay in there, but I mean, she's dilated, she's having contractions, and she's absolutely miserable. So I really feel bad. I mean, it's not a good situation for anybody to be in, but we're hoping that at the end of the day, when little Parker's here, it's all going to be worth it. But until then, I mean, we're kind of on our toes with everything as far as my wife goes, and beyond that, I mean, we've got a few things going on as far as our living situation goes, but that is what it is. Although part of that living situation is we may or may not have to find another house. There's this whole thing going on with the house that we're in now, but we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do. Ideally, like to stay because I hate moving, but if we have to move, then we're gonna have to move. Part of that is I got a crap ton of comic books, and so what I've unfortunately had to start doing is going through my books and selling them off. I do have a friend, actually mentioned on here many, many times before, Cody Lockwood from Lockwood's Loot. I took a bunch of my books to him, about almost 3 long boxes worth of books to him, and he's going to have on CodyCon again Fridays from 7 to 10 p.m. on his Facebook page. I'll put a link in the description down below. There is going to be a lot of the books from my collection showing up in his CodyCon. So I don't know if I'm going to be watching CodyCon for a while because it's sort of like seeing books from my collection being sold off to other people. People I know that will appreciate them. People that I know will be able to fully enjoy them, or maybe get some of them graded and take good care of them. But it's still just a matter of they've been in my collection for decades, a lot of them, and now it's like other people are touching them. It's just kind of weird. But like my little man said, we kind of need a house more than I need my comic books. Which from a 7-year-old, that says a lot about the kind of guy that he's going to be. So that is what it is. Again, Lockwood's Loot Friday nights from 7 to 10 p.m. It's on his Facebook, on Cody Lockwood's Facebook page. I will put that description down in the link below. But that's it. That's reasons and things that are going on in my life, in my real world, that are preventing me from doing these videos on time. I mean, it's just been really crazy. We actually were up at the hospital again yesterday for a little while, but she's fine. So let's just get into the books that I picked up last week and talk about them. We're gonna get what is arguably one of the worst books I've read in a long time out of the way first, and I'm really surprised at this. But it is the Doctor Strange Nexus and Nightmares. Now I don't like to just jump into and talk about everything bad about a book. So I'm gonna start off with something positive about this book. And the only thing I can think of that was positive about this book is that this is a one-shot, which means we're only subjected to this story as a one and done. But essentially what it is we've got Nightmare is one of the main villains, and there's Nightmare and Baron Mordo. Nightmare wants to be released from the dream realm and bring his dream demons or what have you to the real world. He's working with Baron Mordo. So Baron Mordo and Nightmare both know that the one thing that can help Nightmare is a spell from the Darkhold, the Book of Sins, which is in the hands of Doctor Strange. So Nightmare goes on this campaign where, as Stephen Strange is asleep, he's going into his dreams and planting seeds of doubt. So you have a guy that is one of the most confident people in the Marvel Universe. And I'm not talking about the movies. This is just strictly comic books. I don't know anything about the movie version of Doctor Strange. But in the comic books, Stephen Strange is one of the most confident people that you could come across. I mean, he knows what he's doing. And suddenly, because of a few dreams, he's losing all of his confidence, which means he's losing his powers, which makes no sense at all. But he also doesn't make the connection that his dreams are causing him to lose confidence. Hello, I have an enemy called Nightmare who lives in the Nightmare realm, and I don't know, it's just, the whole thing is him whining about him losing his confidence. The other thing that kind of annoys me with it is, throughout the book, he is drawn to look like Benedict Cumberbatch. which I understand. Right there. There's a good shot. I don't know how it'll come out. This, flashback because we always got to go through the origin, but they draw him to look like Benedict Cumberbatch, which I understand. There's all those little movies coming out, but when I'm reading, this is just me. This is a personal thing for me. When I like to keep my comic books separate from the movies, which means when I'm reading my comic books, I don't want any connection to these movies. I don't want these looking like the movie versions. I want them to look like the comic book versions, So that knocked me out. The story was not that good. I mean, the cover's all right. It just, I don't know. I'd say if you haven't picked it up yet and you're thinking about it, I'd flip through it at your LCS before anything else because I was reading. I'm like, this is horrible, and I've not actually just flat out said a book is horrible in a very long time. So it's really hard for me to say that because I always like to talk about, this is what I didn't like, but here's the points that I did like. But with this one, I can't come up with really a single thing other than the fact that it's a one shot and it's done. It can get buried in my collection, or I don't know if I want to, try to get rid of it or what. I don't know. But anyway, let's get on to some books that I did like. Slumber, number 2. This is from Image, and it's about this lady who is able to go into people's dreams. So she's sort of like a dream bounty hunter, dream private investigator. If somebody's being haunted by nightmares, they can go to her and she can go into their dreams, kill the dream demons or whatever it is that's giving them nightmares, and they're cured. That's the surface story. The B story is she is searching for this demon lady who is depicted in drawings throughout the first 2 issues as just like a really dark, shadowy looking gal with red eyes, and she's able to possess people and make them do things that they normally wouldn't do, like kill people, dismember them, and shove them in their refrigerator, and then go home and have sex with their wives or girlfriends or whatever. So unusual things for people. As far as it goes, though, the book, I wasn't too sure about it. I really enjoyed the first issue. I was like, I'll check out the second issue, maybe the third or fourth issue. Hopefully it's got legs. I honestly do think that this has legs. I don't know if it's going to be able to be one of those things that'll run for a long, long time. But, as far as, maybe a year or 2 worth of comics, I mean, they could squeeze some stuff out of this. Some really interesting stories out of this. So I'm enjoying it. I do recommend it, especially, again, if you're looking for something different. And this kind of goes into what I used to say, is when you go to your comic shop, grab your regular stuff, but also look for something new, look for something different. You never know what kind of treasures you're going to find because there's a lot of great comic books coming out. There's a lot of garbage coming out, too. There's a lot of really good comic books coming out, and sometimes you have to go through the garbage to get to the good stuff. Sometimes you find it right off the bat. Slumber, it's a lot of fun. Really interesting characters. I loved that cover too. This is one of 2 or 3 covers they put out, and I got this. I'm kind of glad I got this one because this scene does take place in the story. I'm not going to tell you when or where or why or how, but that does take place in the story. So Slumber, a great read. It's a lot of fun. I do recommend it. We're wrapping up Refrigerator Full of Heads. So issue 6 of 6 wraps up the second part of the saga of this enchanted battle axe that if you cut somebody's head off with it, the head still lives and it's still fully functional. It can talk, it can think, probably doesn't have to eat. Although, we find out in this story that if you decapitate a shark's head, that shark will still go after things. And man, this shark head does play into the story big time. Because you've got the shark head, and you've got this other guy from the first story who wants to get the axe. So there's also other Viking weapons that if you get them all together, you get this ultimate power. So the axe is what he needs. He has he has the other artifacts, the other 3, including this belt that transforms into like a snake thing. And as the story and this issue is just so insane. Let me tell you, this is just so crazy. I mean, you've got all kinds of madness going on. You've got the shark coming into play, going after the guy with the snake body. But then you've got the snake body being connected to the shark, and it is absolutely insane. So you got a shark head on a demonic snake body. The shark head starts growing fangs like a snake, and it's just all kinds of gruesome and gore and blood and guts, and just it's a great time. Basket Full of Heads was a lot of fun. This story here, Refrigerator Full of Heads, is actually upping the ante a little bit. So it's actually more fun. It's got a lot more darker humor to it than the first one did. And man, it was a lot of fun. So if you haven't checked those out, this one, Refrigerator, will be available in trade paperback probably in the next month or two. It's probably being solicited now. You can ask your local comic shop for it, or go through Comic Hub, or maybe even InStockTrades.com. But try your LCS first. If you have an LCS, always go through them first. They would appreciate the help and the business and the support. The only other one that I grabbed last week was this one here, Mighty Morphin, or this is Power Rangers number 18. It's still fun. I mean, we're we're after the Altarian Wars. Mighty Morphin is gearing up for this next round of a villain. The next season's villain, or what do you want to call it? They're doing the same thing here, but it's fun. I mean, there's really not a whole lot that I can say about it in detail, but I mean, if you've been reading Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin, you know what kind of fun it is. You know that it's just a good time. That's all it is. It's just an absolute good time, especially if you're a fan. Now, those are all the books that I want to talk about from last week. I do have a pretty nice stack of books from this week that I'm going to share in just a moment. But before I do, I want to thank everybody who does tune into my videos. I appreciate the support. You would not believe how much I appreciate the support and the new subscribers. Last I checked, I had 178 subscribers. So I'm hoping, this is what I'm hoping, is I can get 200 subscribers before I hit my 300th video on this channel. I'm at 250 or 260, something like that, videos on this channel. So I'm hoping to be able to get 200 subscribers before I post my 300th video. So I'll be paying attention to the number of videos that I'm doing from here on in. So if I can do that, I might see about organizing some sort of a giveaway. It won't be anything major. We're not talking like, Edge of Spider-Verse number 2, CGC greater than 9.8. We're not talking about anything like that. But, I can pull together something and try to do a giveaway. I don't know. I've got some time to look into it and see how I can do this. So, that said, let's talk about the books that I picked up this week, which is the final week of April. First one I did want to show off. This one actually came out last week. This is Canceled. This is the one-shot from Black Caravan, Scout Comics, or whatnot. Now, if this cover doesn't really look familiar to you, it's because it really was not widely available. This is the Nostalgia Inc. variant, store exclusive. Now, Nostalgia Inc. is the store that I go to each and every week to get my new comic books. They've got their little logo on the back there, which is really awesome. But this is the second or third exclusive cover that they've gotten. I think it might even be the third. I might have missed one. But Black Caravan, Canceled, One Shot, Nostalgia Inc. exclusive. It's a great cover, too. I love that cover. That is great. And so I know they still have some left. I think they're going for like $19.99. So if you're interested in something like this, if you want to get a store exclusive, when it is not widely available, let me know. Or I will put the link to Nostalgia Inc.'s Facebook page in the description down below, and you can contact them directly, see what they have available, and get one for yourself if you want. Tell them Scott sent you. All right, so the other books to grab this week: Godzilla Rivals versus King Ghidorah. One shot, awesome stuff. I love some Godzilla comic books, which is great. This was a great week for me since I really enjoy my Godzilla comic books, because I also got Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 2. I think it's a 5-issue miniseries. God, I hope it's a 5-issue miniseries. First issue was just so much fun, and I just cannot wait to dive into the second issue for that. I grabbed the B cover as well. I'm just grabbing A and B covers for these, just to kind of, I don't know, essentially pad my Godzilla collection and section in my collection. This one kind of surprised me. I knew it was coming, but I didn't really realize that it was still on my pull list. Hellcop number 6. Is this number 6? Yeah. So I guess it is an ongoing series. It'd be nice to know that. It would be nice if like Image and these smaller publishers would actually let people know if something is an ongoing or a miniseries. So I'm just gonna, from here on in, I guess, if there's no numbers on it and there's nothing that says it's a miniseries, I'm going to assume it's an ongoing series. But new story arc, new storyline. Looking forward to checking it out. Looks like we've got some Bigfoot action going there. And back in the Power Rangers universe with, well, Power Rangers universe number 5, featuring the Black Ranger on the cover. So I don't remember reading 4. I'll have to go back and take a look at that. Rogue Sun number 3. This is the only cover that my LCS had, which is fine because I like this cover. This cover is pretty sweet. Silver Surfer Rebirth. Man, I love this cover. Number 4. Look at that. Corner box. I don't know. I'm probably going to just point these corner boxes out every time I see them. I'm so glad Marvel's doing them, especially with a book like this that takes place in the 90s. Well, in terms of when with the art and the characters and everything, it would have, it looks like it's been published in the 90s. They brought back the corner box, which is something that we had back in the 90s. I know a lot of you newer comic book fans and collectors, you kind of grew up without the corner boxes, so you're not as attached to them as some of us more established. I'm going to say established collectors are, but these were so much fun back in the day, and Marvel used to have fun with them too. There was a series, a storyline in Incredible Hulk, where the corner box was Hulk changing from like Bruce Banner, I think, to Mister Fix-It or something like that. It's a lot of fun. Next up, and these are the last two that I picked up. ZVRC Zombies vs. Robots Classics #2. This is thicker than the last one. It's also more expensive. This one's $5.99. I really realized that it was more expensive than the last one. I got to check the price of the third one and make sure that the prices start going up. But nice, absolutely gorgeous, without a doubt. Ashley wood cover. You can't go wrong with these Ashley wood covers. I love them. And the last one, I wasn't gonna. I was kind of on the fence of getting this because I saw the picture of it. It's like, this is kind of cool. But then I saw it in the LCS. I saw it down in Nostalgia, and they actually pulled it for me. So I guess I had it on my list. But this is the ZVRC Reader. It's an homage cover to the Comic Book Reader, I think, magazine. I have a couple of issues of it. I've got one that has Mike Plug drawing Ghost Rider, and I've got some other ones as well. But I love that one. That one's really, really cool. So love it, and some coolness on the back there. Anyway, that is it. Again, sorry about my video being so late again this week. I'm gonna try to get back on a regular schedule so these things can go live at 2 o'clock, 2 or 3 o'clock on Thursdays. But like I said, we've got a lot of stuff going on right now, so there might be times where it's going to be late. It might be a couple hours late. It even could be like a day or two late. I will tell you that, hell or high water, or barring Parker being born, I'm going to try to have these videos no later than Saturday. So, because I appreciate everybody's support. So, I know everybody's kind of gotten used to me putting these out at the same time of the week, every week. So, I want to try to keep with that, but just please understand that with everything going on in the real world with me and my family, it may not be possible every week for the next couple of weeks anyway. Maybe even like the next couple of months, depending on the living situation. So, but I will endeavor to do the best I can to get these things out the way they're supposed to be each and every week for you, because I do appreciate everybody checking my videos out. I appreciate the subscriptions, the likes, the comments that I'm getting. It's been a lot of fun. I really, really like interacting with everybody. So that said, again, check out the description below here. I will have a link to Cody Lockwood's Facebook page. Friday nights from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He does Lockwood's. For Lockwood's Loot, he does the CodyCon sort of online convention thing that he's been doing. He's been doing for a couple of years now. He's a great guy. Honest prices. He'll take care of you. You can ask him anything. And even the CodyCon community that's growing, a lot of it is local to me. But if you have any questions, I'll tell you right now, even if you think it's a stupid question, nobody on that CodyCon live stream will ever make fun of you. We're all just very open, very welcoming, and we're happy to help out in any way, shape, or form that we can. So check him out. A lot of my books will be on there. I'm sure he's going to point out which books are mine. It's going to be hard for me to watch, but I'm also going to put a link to my local comic shop, Nostalgia Inc. is going to go down there in the description below. So if you want to check out and you want to get yourself a copy of their store exclusive for Black Caravans Canceled, I know they got some available. You can get a hold of them and get your own copy as well. So that said, everybody, thanks for watching. And as always, each and every week when you go into your comic shop, grab your regular stuff. Look for something new, even if it's mid-series. Pick it up. If it's got a cool cover, pick it up and check it out. You might grab yourself a new series, introduce yourself to a new character in a new world full of endless possibilities. So always be willing to try something new. I do it each and every week. At least I try to when there's something cool coming out. Like I said, Slumber, great. Next week there's this book from Scotty Young called Twig coming out. I know I put that on my poll list because I'm curious. There's been a lot of hype about it, so I put it on there just to check it out. So let's see what that's like next week. So again, that said, everybody, thanks for watching. Thank you for your continued support. Check out the links below, and I will see everybody next week. Have a great one.